Most Maryland families these days are being set up for failure. Want to know how? For the last decade, wages for middle and low-income families have remained at a standstill. But that isn't the case for living expenses. Start with housing. We all need a place to live, a place we can afford. But there simply isn't enough affordable housing in Maryland. While 36% of Americans pay less than $750 in rent, in Maryland, that number is only 18%. This causes problems for the rest of a family's budget. Without affordable housing, too much of the budget goes for rent, and that means less money to cover other expenses. But you need more than just a house. You need heat, gas, and electricity. And all that energy doesn't come cheap, especially not in Maryland, which is ranked the 7th worst state for affordable energy. What happens if there isn't enough left to pay these utility bills? Well, you might go months without heat or electricity in your home. And living expenses don't end there. What about childcare? The average cost is more expensive than putting a kid through college. Add in transportation, food, and healthcare, and the pile of expenses is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And the gap between your cost of living and what you can afford will only continue to grow. And guess what? Here in Maryland, we have our own income gap. The richest 5% of households have incomes that are over 11 times larger than the lowest 20% and almost 4 times higher than the middle 20%. And that gap between the rich and poor is only growing. After all those scary numbers, it might seem hopeless for struggling Maryland families. However, there are simple policy solutions that could turn things around. But we're going to need to work together to ensure that every family can afford the cost of living. To learn more about how we can face the future together, visit marylandpolicy.org and check out the State of Working Maryland. Brought to you by the Maryland Budget and Tax Policy Institute.